I'm gonna race against the rain. It's gonna rain about an hour. I overslept this morning on purpose because the grandparents had the kids. But these are my backing plates. I just cut all those at the bandsaw at work because it's way easier than having to do it here with like a Sawzall or something crazy. So step one, I need to get the fuel tank out so I can finish bolting down the current configuration. Well, these I got some screws in, some I need to add, decide where they'll actually fit. Like some of these there's like a rail across, so we'll just skip them. We don't need every single bolt, that'll still be fine as long as we have most of them. But from here, well yeah, from here forward is fuel tank. So drop the tank, bolt in a little bit on this end, put the tank back in. If I can do that quickly enough, then we'll be in pretty good shape. But looks like here's the vent line and the fill line, and they're just worm clamps. Oh, it's interesting how low that is. So yeah, when your tank's full, there's fuel up the neck. That's stupid. Well, it works, but if this ever started leaking, man, you'd get fuel everywhere. And then it should be all under this side so hot. There's electrical and something else on top that I can't see from over here. I have to lift the van up a little bit because this side strap here, but the bolt's on the other side. And ideally, I'll just get underneath it and set it on my chest. Yeah, we'll get those out first. Okay, there's a hanger, and there's a hanger. Looks like 13, but you never know, right? And then you can kind of see over here how my backing plates are working out. I just drilled the hole based on the position. So those ones that were by the rail had to go in the corner. That's fine. And then probably spray them with some kind of coating, try to keep moisture from sticking underneath them and rotting the floor out even more. But really, I'm not super concerned about it. Because after I did the EGR, I wanted to drive it more and make sure that I got rid of that underboost and had that figured out before I worried about finishing the seats. So, oh well. So I only put, after the light came on, drove it a little bit, and I put in 5 gallons. And I've driven it since then to work and back. So there's probably 4 gallons plus whatever the reserve is. So there might be an actual 5 gallons in the tank. Bad boy's stuck on there tight. It's 5 times 8, 40. So 40 pounds plus the weight of the tank. It's not too bad. Fuel weighs about the same as water. For my purposes, it does. Gosh, son of a bitch, that thing is on there. And it's sliding off, so I think maybe once we start to drop it, it'll just pop out. Or it'll crack the tank in half. One of the two. This one I'm kind of worried about. It's all crusty and old. This is probably the part where I snap these and have to figure out how to rehang the tank. Come on, spray. Throw a little bit of lube on the threads. Will help keep them from galling. So far, so good. It's probably being held up by the vent. This side should go up and out of that slot. Right. Left. There she goes. Here we are, hanging on by that vent in my left arm, so. Whatever, it's vent off. I don't know if my electronics and stuff are long enough. Feels like they are. But this guy, there we go. Oh yeah, they reach. You can see here. So those have enough space, not a lot. Like it's pretty actually feels like it's hanging on my pump cords, my lift pump. So that goes cool. What I didn't want was to bend the shit out of this. Hey, it's just metal, it'll bend back. And then, yeah, that just goes through an eyelet in the frame. Leave that there. Actually, really, there's not too much. There's not a ton of tension on those, so I'm not even gonna unhook those lines, because all I need to be able to do is put in the nuts, and then actually these brake lines look better than I thought. I thought they were going to be crusty like this all the way up, so I'm not going to worry about replacing the whole brake line, but I may think about replacing that section over here, because it's a little rusty. It's not as bad as it looked the first time I saw it, but I think that it might be a good idea to cut them like there and up here and just add a section in. Everything will burst on me one day. Well, one of the things I should have done is not put these all the way back. It would have been nice to have this hole in the rear exposed, so that when I bolt them in and then take them off, everything in between is perfect. Like this one, you kind of push it around a little bit, so hopefully it lines up correctly. And then just by design, because it goes in the rail, and then this washer needs to slide down in, this isn't going to come up when I pick up the seats, so I don't think I can just loosen these and slide them. I'm going to try just because, but I would imagine I have to take the seat off or just unbolt these all the way and move the anchors to where they need to be and then put them back together. Yeah, not too bad. Just set the front holes in place because I could see them and drop right in. Alright, time to find out where those went through. Not into a fuel tank, not that. Ooh, there's wiring right here. So one's there, yeah, one's right here, right by the edge. So make sure I didn't hit that with the drill, so that's good. I'll have to be a little more careful on this rail. So it's going to be like its buddy, right up by the edge. That one's in the middle, so I'll go drill 2 backing plates. Alright, there's our bolt coming down. Oh shit, I forgot my nuts. Alright, yeah, it would have been pretty difficult to do these with the fuel tank in place, because even now I gotta reach quite a bit. Come on, there we go. You're lucky they hold themselves on, just barely. Having a buddy in the van is great, but my wife's busy watching the kid. And the film was, you just kind of a little bit of tension on one side, and then especially because you drill, I don't blow the slot out, so the head of the screw pushes a little piece of metal from the floor into that aluminum rail, and it helps kind of hold the top. Nice and tight, it's not spinning the top, which is great. Oh, there we go. A bunch of those in place, and that won't be the failure point in an accident for sure. Okay, got those 2 bolted in. That side looks kind of... Oh, there's something underneath it. That's why it looks so goofy. That wire's weird. So, the hole's in the right spot. So I'm going to get this out of the way, and we'll deal with whatever the hell's going on under that. Try to poke out that rivet or whatever it is I missed. I thought it looked funny. Okay, yeah, I'm a dumbass. I should get in here and make sure there's no more shit underneath them. But there's long as I can figure it's flexy enough, I should be able to poke it out and then go back underneath and tighten it the rest of the way. That's better. Now it looks straight too, whereas before it looked kind of weird to me. I was like, whatever, just tighten it down. But, get here the leaf blower. Ooh, it's just starting to rain. Maybe if I hurry. So I got 6 more in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like 1 needs to be near the edge, the rest are clear. So that means I'll be able to do all 6 on this one too. That makes me happy. Yeah, so I wonder if the ones on the other rails would clear. If they don't, I guess I'm crooked or something. I don't know. But 6 plates, get those screwed on quick as I can. If it starts dumping on me, I have to call it a day. I made it. So got 6 in. So from here all the way back to like this area. They're all bolted down. Well, not this one, but those 2 are where the fuel tank covers it up. When I do this rail, I'll be able to reach that from the exhaust side. It's above the drive, like the drive shaft's like right here. So we don't need the fuel tank out to get to those. And it's just still kind of drizzling, so I'm hoping to get that tank back in real quick and then just start moving on. I think next part I'll move this seat up to expose the tips. That way I can screw those down from the back, make sure that this rail part is all set. Then I'll be able to pull it off, do all the holes I can, flip it around, and add that 4th. I was barely able to get the fuel tank back in as it's starting to drizzle more and more. So my butt cheeks are all wet. And, good enough, right? So the rest of the stuff we can reach without dropping the fuel tank. So the van's not completely immobilized, you know, other than needing a turbo because of seat work. So glad to have that out of the way. The last 2 things I'll have to get underneath for is transmission service and oil change. Hopefully I won't have to crawl underneath for quite some time. Alright, lucky me, my doctor's appointment went fast. So now I have all kinds of free time because I didn't go back to work. You know, they can deal without me. Super nice to finish these seats tonight. We'll finish the rails and everything. And then hopefully in the next day or 2 the turbo shows up because I got new lines. 1 showed up today, 1 will be here tomorrow. So I can get seats and turbo finished. I can drive it, heat it up, do the other stuff. But more importantly, somewhere up here water gets in where it's rusty. So I don't want to do the carpet and floor yet until I fix that leak. So really I just need to move those back seats and get a drill. Well, I have enough bolts to do every single hole. A couple of them don't line up right, so we skip them. But I don't have enough backing plates. I didn't cut enough because I didn't expect to fit every single one. Yeah, so I'm going to get that 4th rail in. This needs to flip around backwards. And it'll fit right in the same hole in the same eyelets, but the center rail will fit in the new one. So I'll get this one in, bolt it in. Then this seat will bolt from here to there to keep that as square as we can. This time we're going to leave the end holes open. I'm just going to get 3 in it so it's in the right position, and then I'll have to finish bolting them down with backing plates. But that'll be the gist of it. Once that 4th one's in, that's where they're going to be. The rest of it's just busy work, so I'll call that a wrap once they're in place. Okay, there's a backwards seat. I like it. It's looking good. They got good spacing. I may want to paint like a strip of black in between those because I'm not going to have carpet covering, but I'm not sure I care that much in this particular van. But it's doing exactly what I thought it would do, right? Gap over there, but not over here. I don't know how often we really have the rear seat backwards. And I think if I put it here, like, it's just going to take up so much space to like sneak in a little corner. So it might not be as just strangely fantastic as I had hoped for, but at least we have the options. I'll take more cargo rails over less any day of the week. Yeah, like there's that small temptation to leave this out and just not worry about being able to flip the 3-seater backwards, but part of me also thinks if I flip this around forward and put it here, you know, you'll have tons of leg room and like cargo space here for normal day-to-day use, and then this can be like mountain bike and changing area, you know, that sort of thing. So I can come in the van from the back, change my clothes to go biking, whatever it is. There's plenty of space if I wanted to put like a little wall of tools and then use this as a bench. Alright, here's this seat clamped in place. You can see this side nice and tight. That side still not bolted down. And if I push on it, it's got quite a bit of play on the seat itself. So I'm going to make a little eyeball adjustment. I think push that a little bit that way just so they're a little more even when they sit in the rail. Yeah, that'll square it up enough, but they should just fit. There's enough slop in the assembly that it's going to be good like this. And then obviously I wouldn't leave this all the time, even though it's kind of funny. Grease stains all over my new leather. Pleather probably, but yeah, I'll get 3 screws in that center one so that I know it's not going anywhere, and then I have another option I want to check out. Oh, this was my other idea. So when I was thinking about making my own braces this way, which I felt like would pull the seats up too high and just be a lot of extra work and welding, and you can see if you really look how not square this one rail is. Like, there's a lot of wiggle room in these for the seats to actually clamp on. So this is because I didn't put any screw holes in the back yet, but it lines up. All I have to do is drill another pair of holes in that bracket. I could do it with the rear seats as well, and then I can put benches sideways. So I don't know how useful it is now, but it might become quite useful in the future. Beats me. I just like that I'll have that kind of mobility. That's a dumb word for that. Configurability, is that a fucking word? You know how sometimes you feel real dumb? Yeah, I'm happy with this. I think it's going to look really good, especially once the floor is in place. And seeing how these sat down in between these little ribs, I think when I put the floor down, they'll be recessed a little bit, which is okay. We got some wiggle room here because there's the washers, so these sit up a little ways off of the floor. So I probably won't put anything in between the floor and here. Other than maybe some really thin carpet. I don't know if it would squeak. Like, will it squeak? Probably. My luck, it'll squeak like crazy. I don't want to rivet the floor on either. So maybe what I'll do is Velcro, like lots of Velcro, or just enough Velcro. Maybe that'll keep it from squeaking too. I don't know. I don't know how thin of Velcro I can get. I think it's going to be kind of a thick stack to Velcro it to the floor. And I don't want to Velcro it in between here because that's too thick and I won't grip. So I'll have to give that some thought. I got a while though because I got to fix the water leak because it drips and then it flows right down the floor when it rains. So I'll worry about that before I worry about the floor. But the seats are looking really good. A couple more backing plates and I'll be done. There's a couple spots. There's like one in the middle. I think that one I can get one on here. Yeah, that one. So it'll be, and then 4 on the back. So there's gonna be 8 screws that don't even go in, but all the rest of them go in and get backing plates. So then there's 18 per rail. So 32, 72 minus 8 is 64. So 64 bolts with backing plates for the seats. There's no way that's going to be the failure point. I'm confident that these will be safe enough.